Robert, obviously, at Benedictine, you scored, had a lot of defensive challenges. You were a leading rebounder, led the Holiday Classic in rebounding. How much of what you did in high school have been things that you're sort of bringing to Indiana right away?
Yeah, like you said, at Benedictine, the type of team we had, I had to do, a little bit of everything. So, I just try to come with some of those same things and bring some of those same efforts here in college.
What do you think the biggest thing is you've been working on?
I think the biggest thing I've been working on, is just my decision making as a point guard, trying to play at a fast pace, but, still under control and making the right decisions. I think, that's something I've, really been working on and focusing on improving.
How do you improve that? I mean, making good decisions at a fast pace. You just you guys in practice get put in those situations again and again. I mean, obviously, if you want to improve your jump shot, you take 500,000 jump shots. But how do you improve the decision making?
Oh yeah, like you said, in practice situations, we do, different games, 5-on-5 or 3-on-3, 4-on-4, transition drills, and things like that. We practice it, at the same pace we want to play it in the game. So I think, it's pretty much perfect, and it's something, you can get better at if you focus at it.
I hope you kind of embrace the culture to get an extra work outside of practice at Indiana. And how much do you and James and the other freshmen kind of feel the responsibility to carry that on? Something that like guys like Jordan and Victor and those guys established.
Yeah, I think it's great. As a high school player and pretty much all my career, I've been the gym rat pretty much. So I think it's good, coming here with a group of guys who like to work outside of practice, just as much as me, because, it just keeps you that much more focused and hungry, to continue to get better, along with your teammates.
Who challenges you the most in workouts? Who's your hardest matchup?
Oh, I'd definitely probably say Yogi, just because, he's experienced, he's a little quicker, faster. So, in different drills we do, I try to, always match up with him. So, I get the most out of what I'll be doing.
Is he the guy you go against the most frequently?
Oh, yeah.
How hard is it? And, all coaches are going to talk about you got to stop dribble penetration. Okay, so you're out there in the court, it's you and Yogi, he's going to try to, I mean, how hard is it to stop a guy like that?
Oh yeah, it's extremely difficult. Especially with the rules that they've been changing as far as the hand checking and things like that. In high school, they let you play a little more physical and use a little bit more hands. So coming here, and especially when we have guys refereeing the games and stuff like that in practice, you try to play without your hands, and that's something that's going to be a challenge to most kids coming from high school. So it gets pretty hard at times.
Is that just lateral quickness? Is that a key? I mean, that you're quick enough you can cut over and shut down that drive?
Yeah. You got to focus on, and that's one of the biggest things we focus on is the footwork of it. If you get the footwork of it down, then everything else will come as long as you got the mentality for it.
Half dozen games into your career, is things starting to slow down maybe just a little bit?
Yeah, I'll say so. With every game you get more experience, so it makes it that much easier, or it makes it not as hard to go out there and focus on the things you have to do to win.
You came in as a combo guard that played the point some in high school. I mean, you talked about your going at Yogi. How much better do you feel he's going to make you as a pure point guard by the time the year's out, or even at this point?
Yeah, I think I've already gotten better. I definitely say I already gotten better. From practicing against him, I think I'm just going to continue to get better. One of the things Coach Crean always says is if you can keep his dribble under control, you pretty much can keep a lot of point guards or other guards throughout the country dribble under control. So that's something I always think about.
Seems like before you got here, everyone wanted to talk about, how good of a shooter you and James were, and scoring and that whole aspect. How underrated do you think your rebounding abilities were, and how much of an emphasis did Coach Crean talk about before the season about how much they would lean on you guys for that recruiting, for that rebounding?
Yeah. Well, I don't really think as a point that was underrated. I just think when you're in high school, a lot of people just focus on your ability to score and and get baskets and things like that. But with the knowledge that coaches have, they look at the other things you can do, and that's something I always try to do is go out there and try to rebound. You know, just because it makes it that much easier. You don't have to wait for a big man to give you an outlet. You can just push it yourself once you get the rebound, and that makes, you know, transition offense run smooth.
Coach Green always talks about kind of your pit bull mentality and how you really fear no one on the defensive end. Do you feel, are you the type of guy that walks out on the court and says, let me guard the best guy on the other team? And do you feel like at this point in your career you're able to shut down some of the best guards in the country if asked to do so?
Oh yeah, I feel like, you know, I'll be ready to accept, you know, any of the challenges or anything, you know, the coaches think would be best to help the team win. So whether, you know, like you said, that's guarding the best player or shooter or whatever it might be, I think, you know, that's something I'd be ready to do.
Anything else for Rob?
Rob, this has nothing to do with the game per se, but down the road, I'm doing a story on Marnie Mooney. How much does she help you guys in terms of, you know, the academic side of it?
Oh yeah, Marnie, she's extremely helpful, day in and day out. That's a person, you know, you can count on to make sure, you know, your grades are straight, and she just stays on top of you. She's, you know, tough, and, you know, she's going to make sure, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but at the end of the day, she knows, you know, what's best, and she's just trying to help you.
She doesn't like getting your face tough, like.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's
Did
nothing.
you blow this class or something?
Oh yeah, there's nothing like that. You know, she just, you know, makes sure she stays on top of you. So at the end of the day, you know, she knows what's best, like I said, and she just wants to get the best out of you.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Rob.